What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we're reacting to Film Theory. We found Barbie Land? Question mark, question mark. I'm gonna be fully honest with you, I have not seen the Barbie movie because A, it's something that doesn't really catch my interest. So, might as well just do this, just to get the summary of the movie out of the way. I've still been trying to go see Oppenheimer, but I've been way too busy just to even go see it, so yeah, maybe later this week? I don't know. Uh, nah, probably won't see it. Probably wait till it gets on DVD. Though I am definitely gonna see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. That's gonna come soon. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to miss that? We've been waiting years for it. Anyway, back to the reaction video. If you enjoyed this reaction video, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when the video comes out. And if you have any videos you would like for me to see, then leave it down in the comment section below. And I'll react to it as soon as possible. Finally, the link to this video will be down in the description below. So if you want to see the original video that Film Theory made and all this and all that, see the links, anything they're going to do for this, or if you want to see this over and over again, share it with a bunch of friends and all that. Again, the link is down in the description below. So, with this said, let's start this reaction video.
Want to visit Barbie Land? Because
No.
I figured out where it is. No rollerblading required. Though, fair warning, you might want to bring your passport. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that accepts that in a world full of Barbies and Kens, sometimes it's best to just be an Alan. Man, the Internet was hyped for the Barbie movie, weren't they? I swear.
Not really.
Scroll for more than 2 seconds on Twitter. X. Threads? I don't know. You couldn't scroll for more than 2 seconds on insert generic social media feed here without being bombarded
Correct
by someone
answer.
unleashing their inner Kenergy or rocking their newest hot pink outfits. So of course, I had to see if all the hype was warranted. And as I walked out of the theater, I realized, yeah, I kinda loved it. Sure, the theme was a bit on the nose for my taste, but man, the movie was just fun across the board. An awesome cast of characters that are just dropped into the middle of one of the coolest and most interesting fictional worlds that I've seen in a long time. A world that I and many others would probably want to visit if only it were real. Except it is real. Now, right off the bat, I might have lost you on that one. Barbie Land is clearly meant to be a fictional location, right? They even explicitly distinguish between the real world in the movie and Barbie Land. So aren't they clearly trying to tell us that Barbie Land is a fake world? Well, that's what I thought initially too. But everything else that we see in the film gives more evidence to the contrary. When Margot Robbie's Barbie meets with Kate McKinnon's Weird Barbie to discuss the odd things that have been happening in the world, Weird Barbie describes the passageway between the real world and Barbie Land as a portal. Considering the fact that portals don't, tend to exist here on Earth, that would seem to tell us that Barbie Land is in some separate dimension from the real world. However, this is immediately contradicted a few moments later when Weird Barbie admits that the portal was just a metaphor. She then whips out her trusty instruction manual, courtesy of Mattel, to tell Barbie the step-by-step directions for how to get from Barbie Land to the real world, specifically Los Angeles. I've been to Los Angeles. I wouldn't exactly call it the real world, but then again, from Barbie Land to LA, the instructions tell us that Barbie needs to take a sports
crazy
car,
stuff can't happen there.
A rocket ship, a tandem bicycle, a camper van, a snowmobile, and then finally don a pair of roller skates to blade all the way to Santa Monica Beach. Now, these aren't so much Google Map directions as they are just a list of modes of transportation. It'd be like me telling you how to get to my house by saying you have to take a plane, a bus, and a car. You're missing a few key details there. We can also rule out that these comically pink propulsion devices are meant to be magical. Both Kens and Barbies, as well as real humans, are able to travel freely back and forth between Barbie Land and the real world, provided provided they followed these instructions either forward or backward. So while the idea of trying to find the real-world Barbie Land might seem dumb at first, it is possible according to the canon of the movie. And that's the kind of fine line that we love to ride on this channel. So instead of finishing my Barbenheimer double feature, I bid my family adieu and rushed home, unfurled the world map, and tried to pinpoint exactly where Mattel is hiding Barbie Land. And let me tell you, despite the movie seemingly going out of its way to dissuade theorists like us from doing exactly that, they gave us just the perfect amount of breadcrumbs that led us right to the doorstep of that pink paradise. Oh, I figured you out, Mattel. You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that to keep your boy Matt Pat from going to live out his dream of being a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. So grab your Birkenstocks and Google Maps, dear theorists, as I once and for all chart a course to Barbie Land. Let's start by throwing
That was a weird way to phrase it, but you do you, Matt Pat. You do you.
Asks if Barbie Land is in an alternate reality, basically asking the movie the exact question that I desperately needed. The CEO of Mattel, played by Will Ferrell, says that you can think of it as a small town in Sweden. Now, it's clear that in this moment he's trying to change the subject. After all, his main aim in the movie is to make sure that Barbie Land and the real world stay as isolated as possible. That said, could Barbie Land actually
it's in
be
Sweden?
Sweden? No. Several times throughout the movie, we see characters taking a sports car just outside of Barbie Land, only to find themselves in a desert. Sweden is many things. A desert it is not. This information also allows us to rule out my sneaky early pick for Barbie Land, which was Wisconsin. As it turns out, Barbie, the toy's canonical hometown, is the fictional city of Willows, Wisconsin. Since this movie did such a good job of making deep-cut references to past Barbie lore, it would have been fitting to see Barbie Land's real location paying homage to her lesser-known home. But alas, Wisconsin is the antithesis of a desert, so our search must continue. Now, as much fun as it be to rule out every single location on Earth one by one, there has to be a more straightforward approach to solving the mystery. Eventually, I realized that instead of just trying to eliminate where Barbie Land couldn't be, we had to follow the route laid out by the movie. We needed to use each mode of transportation and then cross-reference locations on the map to see if we could create a travel itinerary that would actually find Barbie's Malibu dream house. And not to bury the lead here, but it's not as easy as just being in Malibu. Since we obviously don't know our starting location, the only thing we can really do is go through our pre-established journey in reverse, starting in Los Angeles and then working backwards through the modes of transportation until we
rollerblade, snowmobile, camper van, tandem bicycle,
into California while wearing neon and roller skates. The way
and something else.
The movie is a little bit odd. It goes like this, quote, "The snowmobile will take you most of the way to the state of Los Angeles, where you will don neon and rollerblades and enter the country of California." Now, clearly there are some mistakes there. A recurring joke throughout the movie is that the Barbies are overall ignorant to real-world things, so Weird Barbie getting confused about the difference between states and countries is no big surprise. It's also worth noting that while Weird Barbie is saying this, she's clearly pointing to the Los Angeles area on the map, so you could argue that she doesn't really mean crossing into the border of the state of California at all. Regardless, I tried to solve this one in two different ways. The first was taking what she said literally and looking at the closest places where Barbie could cross into the state of California after having just got off of a snowmobile. The three states that immediately surround California are Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona. Taking an aerial view
Can't be in
of
Arizona.
potential entry points, one of these things is clearly not like the others. While Arizona and Nevada are clearly scorching deserts, Oregon is a much better fit for our snowmobile stop. It has plenty of snow-capped mountains and a thriving snowmobile industry. It also, conveniently enough, had not just one, but two snowmobile rental spots just across the Oregon-California border in the town of Medford. So we drop off our snowmobiles in Medford, lace up our roller skates, and head on down the California coastline until we get to sunny Los Angeles, is what I'd be saying if it wasn't such a long trip. See, if we're crossing the border all the way up at the north, we are now forced to skate the entire length of California, and that is a long
that doesn't seem right.
11 plus days to get down to Los Angeles. I mean, Barbie's not one to skip leg day, and if we want to take Weird Barbie at her word, it's our most probable bet, but is it our best bet? So I took another look. If we wanted somewhere that was a bit closer, Lake Tahoe area tucked right here away from the Sierra Nevada mountains is a slightly closer possibility for this penultimate leg of the journey, but not by a whole lot. You see, starting from here, Ken and Barbie are spending about 6 days in roller skates trying to get down to Hollywood. Better, but still in the realm of ridiculous. I don't know. To me, both of these routes just felt too far-fetched, which made me think that Weird Barbie was just
Plus,
in her
Lake Tahoe is only...
I mean, the maps in the movie leave...
Plus, Lake Tahoe is only snowing and cold during the winter season, and sometimes in the spring, early spring, and late fall. So, yeah. You're gonna have to consider the late fall to the early spring, because sometimes during the spring, it's either cold or it's somewhat in the middle ground, being warm. Because I've been to Tahoe a few times. A lot of those involve a wedding, so yes. I kind of know the general idea of Tahoe. And it wouldn't work. So, just want to put that out there. There's no way for it to work.
Desired in terms of accuracy. Like here, we see that New York is practically up in Canada, and England is down near the equator, making London a tropical paradise rather than the cool, foggy town it normally is. And again,
that would be cool, but
already flip-flopped state and country, so I decided to tackle this a second way. Maybe what she was meaning to say is that after snowmobiling, you cross into the county of Los Angeles in the state of California, which then gives us a lot more realistic possibilities. Specifically here, the San Gabriel and San Bernardino Mountains, literally an hour's drive outside of Los Angeles. Here we have ourselves beautiful snow-capped mountains perfect for snowmobiling, or better yet, perfect for rollerblading into the city at a mere 12 to 14-hour journey. It's certainly long, but it is far more attainable than the multi-day or even multi-week trips of our other options. So I'm gonna move forward using that as my waypoint. What's next on the journey? Prior to heading to California, Ken and Barbie take a tandem bike followed by a camper van. Well, that sounds like a backpacker's dream. We're back to the same situation we were in with the rollerblades. You can basically take a bike and a van just about anywhere you want to, leading to infinite possibilities. Luckily, we get ourselves some visual detail that actually paint for us a much clearer path. In the movie, we get a montage of Barbie and Ken riding as they go through each leg of their adventure. In the tandem bike section, we see them riding through a field of tulips and windmills. Now, when I see tulips and windmills, the first place my mind goes to is the Netherlands or Denmark. But if I thought rollerblading down an entire state seemed ridiculous, biking across the Atlantic, yeah, I tend to make some theories, but that one is just a bridge too far. Then I realized, well, sure, it looks Dutch or Danish, that could just be an aesthetic choice. There must be places that are much closer that look like it came straight out of a postcard from Europe. And sure enough, there are. Doing a quick Google search, you see that Holland, Michigan is riffing off its namesake, tulips and windmills for days. But still, that's all the way across the country. There has to be something a bit more realistic, something a bit closer to the destinations that we've already mapped out. And indeed there is. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Solvang, California, a small town located just outside of Los Angeles that's decked out to look exactly like a Danish.
Oh, I heard of this place. Yes, I heard of this place. I've been there only once. And that was because there was a rumor that I heard from social media that it was the best place to get some desserts. Like, they had the best brownies, cakes, and so on there. A bit on the hot side during the summer, I'll admit. But they have tons of things there, like restaurants, diners. Well, technically those two are the same thing. But they have a bunch of stuff there. Even antique shops, a small toy place, jewelry, and a lot of jewelry. It's a very small place, and their parking lot that I've been into is something questionable. But yeah, best place to get some desserts. Mainly pastries and anything involving bakery, but yeah. Apparently they got a award too, so if you're ever in this area, you should really go check it out. I had a brownie. Damn, best brownie I had in my life.
complete with the tulips and windmills and apple skeever. Solvang looks exactly like the tandem bike ride that we see in the movie, and it's a mere 13-hour bike ride just outside the city limits. Looks like we're starting to see a pattern here. Fun side note, by the way, Solvang is where our head of production, Jason, actually got engaged. Good to know that Jason's marriage is ironically helping me to solve an insane theory about the geography of the Barbie universe years later. Hashtag blame Jason, more like hashtag thanks Jason. Also, on your way there, make sure you check out the pea soup at the nearby restaurant.
Congratulations,
Random,
Jason.
and it definitely is, but it's just what the highway restaurants advertise over in that area, and it's pretty good. Anyway, after a gentle tandem bike ride through our discount Copenhagen, our plastic pals can rent a camper van and make their way to the San Gabriel Mountains, where they'll then snowmobile around Mount Baldy before rollerblading down to Hollywood. So far, so good, and all nicely contained within this nice little pocket of Southern California, which brings us to the absolute dumbest leg of the trip, the rocket ship. In the montage of Barbie and Ken's journey, we see that they ride a literal rocket into space. At first, this made me think that Barbie Land was an interplanetary destination, but now I'm not quite so sure. While having Barbie be canonically an alien would be hilarious, and very on brand for where we are in 2023, the step before this is riding a speedboat, and you wouldn't exactly be able to find any place to rent a speedboat over on Mars, so I think we're still dealing with Earth here. In fact, in that same scene, we also see a brief glimpse of the Earth and a suspicious-looking pink shape that kind of looks like the outline of Barbie Land. If that's true, then that means that the rocket ship is a bit of a fun detour for Barbie and Ken, allowing them to launch from and then return back to the same spot. That being said, we still need to find the place that this would happen.
So basically, it's a stop location. So you need to find a place that has like a spaceship, astronomy thing, something like that, in this one single location, right?
Preferably in tandem biking distance from Solvang, California. So where could you possibly find a rocket ship? Oh, will you look at that? Located just 26 miles outside of Solvang is none other than the Vandenberg Space Force Base, which features rocket launch pads that are being used by both NASA and SpaceX. What are the odds that a spaceport, of all things, would be so close to our knockoff Denmark? It's almost like the writers planned it this way. The launch pads also happen to be just a stone's throw away from dozens of bike shops that allow for a tandem getaway to the, quote, Danish capital of America. No, I'm not making any of this up. This is how cleanly all of this stuff maps onto itself. The Space Force Base also butts up against the Pacific Ocean, the perfect landing spot for a speedboat. Putting it all together, it's hard to deny it feels like we're on the right track. We've made it almost the entire way back to Barbie Land. We are so close I can practically smell the plastic. So from Vandenberg, we need to find a boat route that grants us access to a desert that can then be crossed via the Barbie sports car. Then and only then will we finally be able to locate the mythical city decked out in pink. Ladies and gentlemen, toys and girls, I think I found the route. Barbie Land is located in none other than, drumroll please, Monterrey, Mexico. Yep,
what?
Yin-Yang are living La Vida Rosa down in Mexico. Monterrey, located in the northeastern state of
Monterrey,
Leon, is a beautiful city flanked on its western side by what, dear theorist? The massive Chihuahuan Desert. By crossing the desert by car, you'd reach the Gulf of California in about 8 to 10 hours. From there, you can board a speedboat and ride your way all the way up the coast to Vandenberg Space Force Base. Then catch a quick ride on one of Elon Musk's rockets, go into low Earth orbit and back before renting a tandem bike to ride all the way to Solvang, catching a view of the tulips. After that, rent a camper van and ride up to the San Gabriel Mountains, where you'll ditch your van for some cool snowmobiles. Ride around until lacing up some rollerblades and taking the scenic route through California to finally reach the quote-unquote real world of Los Angeles. Now, why would I choose Monterey specifically? Admittedly, when you look at the complete map of the journey, there are definitely some places that are closer to Southern California that can still fit the bill of deserts built up against an ocean. But consider this. What else is located in Monterey, Mexico, but none other than the world's largest Mattel factory, with over 200
oh my gosh, are you
serious?
serious?
500 employees. Monterey is the perfect home for Barbie in the movie because it
Monterey
really is the home for Barbie.
Oh wow, how common is that name?
Barbie Land, the land that makes all the Barbies and houses all the Kens and Allens and Skippers of the world. But as one final point of evidence to seal the
because there's Monterey Beach.
To go hyper-masculine,
there's Monterey.
do see some Kens
oh my god.
building a border wall.
I want to go to that Monterey place I know.
That right there is a political landmine.
Like great sandwich shop.
I'm not the one who's doing it. I'm just saying it's in in the movie, and the subtext is obvious. An army of Ken dolls building a border wall? Yeah, it's just further evidence to prove that Barbie Land is at or near the US-Mexico border, exactly where Monterey and its Mattel factory is. Where then is Barbie Land? It's not as crazy of a question as you might think. It's a rollerblade, bike ride, snowmobile, speedboat away from Los Angeles. Or, you know, a 3-hour flight from LAX. Even though the movie gives us all these convoluted directions that seem so lol random, what they really laid out for us was a series of breadcrumbs, giving us all the information we needed to track Barbie back to the source. The literal source. Her factory in Mexico. Sadly, when you look at pictures of the place though, it's not coated in neon pink. Maybe one day we can at least dream. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. Hey, if you could do me a favor and focus all your energy on that subscribe button, that would be awesome. Or maybe you're in the mood for another video about Barbie. If that's the case, check out our most recent style theory, again, on the Barbie movie. That one's on
Not
screen.
sure if I can watch Style Theory. Because I remember in the comment section from 2 times I did Style Theory that I'm not supposed to do reaction videos about it for I don't know how long. I just don't know. I mean, I would like to do some Style Theory stuff, but I can't do it. But anyway, so Barbie Land is in Monterey, Mexico. I find it believable. If you said it was in, like, America somewhere, I would be going like, really? Yeah, I just didn't believe the fact that it would be in America. As interesting as that would be, it just wouldn't make sense to me. Still wouldn't, still can't believe if it is. But yeah, it's not putting the fact that it's not, which is quite alright in all honesty. So, yeah. That is probably the most complicated way to say how to get to Los Angeles, but not the weirdest. What do you know? This stuff does make sense. I didn't mean to make it sound sarcastic or anything, but I just couldn't help it. But this is an interesting thing to go about. Well, anyway, besides this, I don't know. The Barbie movie just doesn't really seem like something I would go to. I just didn't find that interesting. Never found the whole concept of Barbies and all that something interesting. And I kind of resonated that with to the movie, so everyone has their taste and all that. Don't know your guys's, so yeah. Kinda curious. In the comment section below, tell me if you have seen the Barbie movie, and is it okay? Is it alright? Is it like... Is it surprisingly great? If you don't really resonate with the Barbie brand, or like it, or anything like that, I don't know how many people would like who liked the Barbie movie or not, so I'm honestly guessing here. But yeah, with all this said, hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. It, it's in Mexico. Okay.